Wham 1180 welcomes you to the Seniors Rock Show, presented by Benefit Representatives of America, your local Social Security and Medicare experts. The Seniors Rock Show, fun, entertaining, and important info for all adults. Join in with your comments or questions. Call 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now, live from the News Radio Wham 1180 studios in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Good morning. I am here. I'm just waking up. No, I'm kidding. Welcome to the Seniors Rock Show, and I am here today with my estate planning attorney co-host, Mike Robinson, and we have a lot to tell you today. So good morning, Mike.
Hey, Joanna. Happy Saturday.
Thank you. And our wonderful producer, Pam Rapp, is here, and she's running the tech down in the iHeart studio. And if you call, she'll answer. And the number is 222-1180. And we are live, so we'd love for you to join us if you have any questions, comments, questions for the guests. And if they can't answer the whole question, they'll get back to you afterwards. We love to connect with you guys, so do it, please. Reach out to us anytime if you're not going to do it in the next hour on the contact page. If you think of something later, seniorsrockradio.com, and you can see past shows there as well. One of our guests today actually connected with us on that contact page, and her name is Ann Michael Henry. She is a workplace strategist and organizing expert, and she's here today to share her expertise, maybe a little inspiration, I'm hoping, for Labor Day weekend, and on a project to get you started on your family important papers. Okay, we got to get that done, and especially as we're aging. So, but before Ann Michael joins us, we've got somebody that we always enjoy having on the show. He's the computer exorcist, Mark Anthony Arena, and he's here with us to give us his thoughts. And believe me, he always has some, and advice on passwords. And you know what? I wonder if they're necessary evil, and I did have this conversation, so you're going to be interested in what he has to say. I wanted to know, is there a simpler way than passwords? And I'd like to welcome back Mark Anthony to tell us all about that. Hi, Mark Anthony.
Hey, good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm running out of breath. I'm talking too much here.
Yeah.
I get that.
Mark, always good to see another McQuaid Jesuit grad on the show. And, you know, you've been in the industry for a couple of decades now. You've authored a book, How to Protect Yourself from Your Computer. You've got a podcast. You're well known for using plain English to educate about concepts, scams, and scandals in the tech industry. So, Mark, tell us, our listeners, what's your main message today?
So, Mike, have you ever been to a doctor who just says, hey, do you have bubonic plague? No? All right. Well, then I don't know how else to help you because that's the only thing I was trained on.
Oh.
Right.
That's what's happening in my industry. The dudes in my industry most of them have never updated their training. So even if they're trained yesterday, they get 1991 training in so many different aspects of the field. And unfortunately, this is one of them. So do you guys hate it when you're on your bank website and they make you do a complicated password with letters, numbers, punctuation marks, music notes, Cyrillic characters?
Yeah.
Yes, and want to know your mother's maiden name, your pet's first name, where you grew up. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And sure, but the password is preposterous because, like you said earlier, it's a totally unnecessary evil. It's totally fake and pointless.
Good news.
Complicated passwords are absolutely pointless. Unfortunately, the dudes who are in charge of these websites haven't had updated training.
Uh-huh. Well,
so here's the logic.
Yeah.
The logic is here that 2017, what's that, 8 years ago? In 2017, the guy who made up all those rules came out and admitted they're ineffective.
Really? Where did you find that out? How did you know that?
Gizmodo.com, and Wired also did an article at the time about it. But if you go to Gizmodo.com, the guy who invented those annoying password rules now regrets it is the title of that. And what he says is, yeah, it's totally pointless. And there is, so I always open up all my speeches by saying this. On one end, you have normal people with logic, morals, ethics, and common sense, like all of you. And then on the other end, you have the computer industry, which lacks any of that. So the computer industry's never heard of something called common sense. So here's the reasoning behind it. Strong passwords can help you, right? Crazy exclamation mark, @ symbol, number, music note passwords can help you if, and only if, you're in a high school computer lab. So let's say Mike and I are back at McQuaid together, sitting in the computer lab, and you're elbowing me saying, haha, Mark, I'm going to guess your password. Then sure, it makes it hard for your friends in a computer lab to guess your password. Other than that, bad guys aren't doing this. Bad guys aren't sitting around trying to guess Joanna's password all throughout the day. They're lazy.
Tell them how they do it then.
So a couple different reasons. Number one, what most bad guys do is they will break into an organization's server. Especially if an organization uses Microsoft technology, it's like hot knife through butter. They walk into the back door and they grab all of them at once in a spreadsheet. They don't care how complicated it is because they copy and paste. It's like when Nicolas Cage broke into the car dealership and Gone in 60 Seconds. And they, I think that was the movie, and they just take the box off the wall with all of the keys.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Can I ask you something? When they do that, if they're taking all the stuff, if you have a spreadsheet on your desktop, can they get that information too?
Great question. Nobody can ever break into your computer ever unless you let them. And that goes back to the support scam that we talked about last time, where if you let the guy in, he uses a fully legalized tool to break into your computer. He can take any documents he wants, and then he can go into your browser and he can grab all those saved passwords, no matter how strong they are.
Yeah.
So what do you recommend, Mark, for passwords?
I have used the same 3 simple passwords since 1995.
And they are?
Wait.
I wouldn't mind saying them, actually. It's not, yeah, sometimes I'll say it when I give a speech.
But wait, what happens when they ask you have to change it and they say, no, you can't use the same one?
It's because the jokers in charge of that business haven't had updated training. They think they're somehow protecting you, but in reality, that can only serve to torment us.
All right. So if they say it to you, what do you do? What do you call them and say, no, I'm not going to do it?
No, that's the problem. That's why I'm here today, to start educating the public, right? It's one thing if I was just a repair guy driving around, but it's my job to fix the entire industry now.
Right. This is why we call him the computer exorcist. That's his name. Tell him a little bit about your company, how long you've been around, and how you morphed into this.
Yeah, my name is Mark Anthony Arena. I went to McQuaid, and then I went to an all-boys school called RIT. And I originally started out as an IT major, and then I ended up switching to business. So I see my industry from the perspective of business ethics, and I realized it has a dearth of ethics.
Interesting.
And I used to do in-home tech support for people. I drove around Rochester helping a couple people a day, but now I'm starting to franchise to other cities and give speeches, and I got another book coming up in the beginning of next year.
Yeah, you have had speeches at libraries, right? I mean, how could people get a hold of you? We're going to continue talking with Mark Anthony even after the break, but just give them a heads up now in case they want to jot it down or something.
Yeah, I'm on a speaking tour across Massachusetts right now, and I'll speak in libraries, and I speak to clubs and groups, that sort of thing. Did a couple local ones here this month, and thecomputerexorcist.com or 789-1856.
Do you get people all riled up?
Oh yeah, and sometimes people stand up and they go, "Wow, you're saying what we're thinking," and that's so reassuring to me. I'm not alone. No one likes what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and those of us that don't really understand it are even in a worse place because we just think we have to do what they tell us.
They're dog
and so,
it.
Mark, for our listeners, is the takeaway here with respect to passwords: choose something simple that's easy to remember, and just let it go with that.
Thank you. Whenever possible, whenever the tyrants allow. Yes, keep your passwords as simple as possible. Please write it down on a real piece of paper, a real dead tree. They're trying to get you, and if you want, in the next segment, I'll talk about what they're trying to do. They're trying to consolidate power and take our passwords away from us. So always avoid anything like Microsoft will say, break free from passwords.
Yeah.
But that actually means give us control over your passwords so you have no control over your life.
They keep popping up with this pass key thing, and they're saying that's what they're saying. You can use a pass key instead of passwords.
It's a beautiful way for you to give up control of your life. What if I came
Right.
over and said, hey, Mike, give me your passport and your birth certificate. Break free from having to worry about them.
There you go. I know. I
Well-
know. It's scary. So I'm glad you're here. We're going to have more questions, no doubt. And folks, stay with us. We're going to have more with Mark Anthony Arena, the computer exorcist, right after the break.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Seniors Rock radio show with today's guest, the computer exorcist, Mark Anthony Arena. And simply said, Mark helps people who are overwhelmed by technology. He's an author and podcaster, and he believes that intelligent, successful people can be made to feel intimidated by the tech industry. And Mark has helped thousands of clients simplify their digital lives. So, Mark, before the break, we were talking about passwords and how people can simplify their lives in that regard. What else did you want to tell us?
Yeah, people value simplicity, and that's what I do. I do the opposite of the industry where they love complicating things unnecessarily, right? Keep your stuff simple. The only thing you have to fear is fear itself. Just don't worry and don't let someone worry you. That's really it. There's a new, what I call anti-feature, where your web browser is going to pop up now and say, hey, are you signing up for a website? Why don't you do a generated strong password? And then it creates this 90 character long scrambled eggs of letters that can never protect you again, but it's a beautiful way of taking control away from you so you never know what your password is. And then when you erase your computer or you lose your Google account, you lose all those passwords. So it's just a consolidation of power. Avoid anything they suggest. Anything that says parentheses recommended is what's in their best interest and goes against you. Look, 99% of the issues I deal with in the world, not war and famine and poverty, but it's forgotten passwords. So keep them simple, write them on a real piece of paper so no one can take them away from you. And my cousin reminded me, there is one thing that the Gizmodo article does recommend, is passphrases. If you truly want something that protects you, right? There's something called brute force where a computer will sit there and guess your password. And computers don't know the difference between exclamation marks and @ symbols. It's all just characters to them. So the only thing that matters is you can do a long phrase, okay? So like I could do a passphrase that says, Joanna, Google, email, safe, password, Mark, something like that. It's just 5 or 6 or 7 words. You don't have to have crazy characters. You just do a passphrase. And that's fine because it's easy for us to remember. You can write it down. You don't have to sit there with your touchscreen keyboard on your iPhone and have it screw everything up for you, because I've never been able to type on a touchscreen keyboard. I don't know about you. So passphrases are fine.
Interesting. And again, people can't, that's not how people are getting into your computer anyway. They get into the computer first, and then doesn't matter what the password is, they copy and paste and off they go.
Yeah, either they break into a company or they do a support scam and break into yours.
Gotcha.
And I have two, I admitted and told you on the break there, Mark Anthony, that I have 2 pages of written passwords. Okay. So, but I do change them and I date them and they're in a safe place. So, it is out of control, but I'm glad that you're telling me this, because now going forward, I'm going to keep one thing and use a passphrase.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Just look, I'm just thrilled that you've got them written down. Who cares if you got a big book or whatever? Most people don't have any passwords.
And that brings us to our next guest, and that's Ann Michael Henry. She is a professional organizer, and that's one of the topics she's going to talk about is how to keep your important papers safe, and that would be one of them, and how to keep them so that the folks that are left behind when you go can find them. So this is a great topic. They go together.
So, Mark, what else is going on in the tech industry these days?
Hey, can I give a birthday shout out to someone?
Of
Of
course.
course.
Happy birthday to listener Matt. He grew up in Chicago and was able to listen to Wham in the 70s.
I love it. I love it. Speaks to my heart. I'm a 70s girl.
Yeah.
Wait, where'd he
So,
go to school? No, I'm kidding. We won't go down that rabbit hole.
yeah.
But yeah, happy birthday to you.
So
That's
the
great.
other thing I'll give you briefly is what I call the smart TV scandal. So what if I sold you a brand new SUV and I glued the tires so you could never remove them? So you're gonna get like 1 or 2 years out of it, and then you have to put the whole car in the garbage.
Not
Mm.
good.
Is that evil?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So that's what's happening with smart TVs. All right, as early as 2006, I predicted the need for a device that would allow us to watch all this great internet content on our living room television. So that's fine. We need something, set-top box, Roku, Fire Stick, that's fine to watch internet content. However, what the industry did is they integrated that little device into the television. And that's what a smart TV is. You don't
Ah.
need a smart TV. I use TVs from 2008 and I just stick a Roku on it. A smart TV just
Oh.
means a Roku is, or whatever, an evil computer is glued permanently into it. Like if I sold you a car with glued tires, right? So 2 years from now, when that evil computer is obsolete, it is their hope that you put it in the garbage.
Right. Get a new one.
Get a whole new TV because it's all glued together.
Makes
So
sense.
always avoid smart TVs forever and ever. Amen.
Gotcha.
Wow. Good tips. I love this.
Get
Okay.
a Roku.
And I have a little flat screen in the basement that I thought I was going to give away but maybe we could actually give it to one of the kids to use with a Roku.
Exactly.
Wow.
It'll work forever.
Wow.
And then you throw away the Roku after 2 years instead of the whole TV.
That is fabulous. That's a really good tip and very cost saving. Thank you, Mark Anthony. Thank you for all the things that you do and for telling us about these things because, we don't understand it. And you're the person who's in the trenches. We appreciate it. Tell folks how they can get more information. And I know you have a book coming up, so let's have you back soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. TheComputerExorcist.com or 789-1856.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your weekend. And
Thanks,
next,
Mark.
folks, next we're going to have tips on organizing those important papers, like I said, and why you should with Ann Michael Henry, a professional organizer and certified trustworthy expert. We're going to find out what that is right after the news on Seniors Rock Radio.
If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp.
Welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio. I'm Joanna Palvino, your host, and our next guest is Ann Michael Henry. She is a professional organizer and workplace productivity strategist. Ann Michael helps families organize essential information. We talked about that earlier with Mark Anthony and how important it is. And it'll help you to have, your life will run more smoothly. And if it comes to business, she also helps small business owners and she helps them maximize their technology. Again, Mark Anthony was talking about that, and streamline processes to get more out of their investments. So it's a very important topic today, another one, and more time. You get more time in your day when you do these things. Obviously, if you're organized, you'll have more time in your day to do the things that are most important to you, like keeping healthy and going for a walk or those kinds of things. Because I know I'm guilty. If I work too much, I put those things to the side. So I'm very interested in hearing this today. Seniors Rock Radio welcomes you, Ann Michael Henry.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
Great
and
to have you. So, Ann
thank-
Michael, I know you like to say teachers give extensions, life doesn't. Get your papers in on time. Why is it so important for families to gather and organize their key documents, especially right now?
Well, I'm coming up on I think it's 24th anniversary of my mom's passing in about 10 days. And one of the things she did about 5 or 6 years before she passed, she came to visit and she walked in with a red wall. Mark, you know what that is. File folder, flap over it, cord, and it had all of her documents in it, and my dad's too. It had all of their bank accounts, and the contact information, who I should talk to, all of that information. She even wrote their obituaries. She planned the luncheons after the funeral, the whole 9 yards, right? And I have to
Awesome.
tell you, it was such a gift. It really was a gift. We have this negative connotation of, I'm going to die. Well, yeah, we all are. But to pull all this information together at the time of her passing, I had two small kids, right?
Sure.
I had so much on my plate. I had started the business, the whole 9 yards. Um, in about a month, I was able to wrap everything up. Now, and Mike, some of this stuff can go on for months and years, right?
Right. Yep.
And it's horrible and expensive and beyond stressful, on top of the stress of losing someone that you love. But think about 20 years ago and today, what's changed? We're paying for more things. We pay for radio, we pay for TV, we've got insurance, we've got our pets, we've got this, we've got that. I have a 6-page document sitting in front of me of all the things that we need to have pulled together so
Yeah.
that our family knows what to do.
Sure. No, boy, I mean, amen a dozen times over. I know a lot of people and Michael get stuck on the how. Does it matter if these documents are organized digitally, they're in a binder, some kind of online tool?
The the most important thing from my perspective, and I know this from working with individuals and even small businesses, is find a way that works best for you.
Mhm.
Yes.
It can be digital. If you're comfortable putting it in a digital vault type tool, sure, do that. If you prefer paper, sure, do that. Do a combination. I personally have my stuff in a digital vault, and I've got all the paper documentation or most of it so that, my kids can get a hold of it. So it really is, don't get caught up on a specific way. It's what works best for you.
Good stuff. Now, once the documents are organized, and I like that, I'm still thinking about that folder, that reddish brown folder with the tie on it, because those are
Yeah.
cool. Everything's right there and it's alphabetized. I love it. Anyway, but once we do that, once we have them organized, what's the best way to make sure the right family members can access them? Because we know that too. We talk about it all the time on the show. Mike is an estate planning attorney. How
Right.
can you be sure people can find what you're saving?
Right. Well, minimally create a contact list of all of the people that you deal with and their phone numbers and what they cover for you, and make sure your family members have that or that they know where to find it.
Mhm.
I use a digital vault, and because I'm divorced, I have one child in the Midwest and the other one on the West Coast.
Yep.
If something were to suddenly happen to me, they need immediate access to
Mhm.
my information. And in that digital vault, I have, the primary thing is the contact list. Here's who you need to call
Yep.
to get
Good idea.
the ball rolling. So that's the starting point, is give people access. You can give it to them digitally, you can have the paper backup, but you've got to give people, they need to know where to find things,
Mhm.
and it can't be scattered all over the place.
Yes, I had a friend, my friend Susie. She showed me a year ago or so. We grew up together, and she said, "I want to show you something." And she took out a folder with all of this information that she had put in the computer, then printed out. She said, "I want you to know you're on the list, and this is where it's going to be." So, it's weird, but it's important, right, Mike?
Oh, yeah. I mean, as you know, it's
Mhm.
we preach this all the time. This is so important. And
Absolutely.
Michael, as you said, it is truly a gift to the people who are going to have to pick all this up and deal with it at some point.
Yes, yes. In fact,
Absolutely.
that's gonna segue me into asking Ann Michael to tell us about your company name and the meaning behind it.
So my company name, it's a French term. It's pronounced mise en place. And there are two things that influenced me choosing that phrase, that term. I spent a summer in France living with a family, which was at the age of 16, incredible. And I'm a foodie. And mise en place is a cooking term, and it literally translates to putting or placing in place. So I took that and I apply it to being organized, because that's what it's about. When you go to a restaurant, it takes like 7 minutes to get dinner, right? If they didn't use mise en place, you'd be sitting there for 3 hours.
Yes, that's right. Awesome. Great stuff. Thank you so much, Ann Michael Henry. Could you please give them your contact information in case they want to get a hold of you to get organized?
It's Ann Michael, ANNMICHAEL at m-e-p.com.
Very good. And you can check it out on our website too. We'll be posting this show next week. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
All right, and folks, hang on. We'll be right back after this break on News Radio Wham 1180. Welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio. No dancing in the moonlight tonight. We got a new moon out there, so but a good song. Hey, Joanna, did you know today is National Ride the Wind Day?
Really?
Yes.
What does that mean exactly?
So this commemorates the first human-powered, sustained, and controlled flight. So it happened on this day in 1977 in England. There was the Gossamer Condor, and it navigated a figure-8 course over a mile long, had to clear a barrier of 10 feet at both the beginning and the end of the course, and first time that was accomplished. And when I say human-powered, it was basically a fellow, pedaling a bicycle to generate, the propeller. And so anyway, so people are encouraged to fly kites and take flying lessons, go to air and space museums, whatever. So I thought that was interesting.
I think it's interesting too, and I love the feeling of wind in my hair. I think everyone should do it. That's what we're going to do today, run around in the wind. Is there any wind?
Go.
I don't think
there you go. So,
but one thing I want,
the final Bills preseason game tonight, and then they got to make their final cuts. I think Pam, Tuesday, right? Tuesday afternoon, 4:00. So that's interesting. And we do, Joanna, have to mark a bittersweet special occasion today.
I know. I'm kind of sad but happy at the same time. It's a strange thing.
There you go. But this is our last show with Pam, because Pam will be having her baby coming up in another month or so.
Yay. Baby boy is on the way. Thank you, Pam. I mean, how long have you been with us now? Years, right?
So yeah, since it started in 2020. It's crazy. So 5 years now.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we really appreciate all you do. And, sometimes she helps if someone's taking over, she'll help them, to know how we work, because it's important. We keep a tight ship here, and Pam has us all tied together and doing a great job all the time. So we're so excited. You better call after the baby comes, because we're going to want to hear about it and how he's doing and what his name is, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you guys both so much for the opportunity and just letting me be a part of your Saturdays with you and the listeners. And it's been a great experience, and I'm very grateful I love radio. Radio is a big part of my life, so I'm definitely going to miss it. I'm going to miss you guys on Saturdays as well.
Yeah, we're going to miss you too. And
yeah, you know where to find us.
And your due date is midweek, so if you're on schedule, you won't miss a game.
That's true. It'll be nice watching the Bills games with a newborn in my arms. So
there you go.
A little bit different this year.
Does he have a jersey already? Does he have a jersey yet?
He does.
Of course.
He's all ready to go.
Not surprised. And do you have a breakaway table?
No, but okay. I'm sure.
Because our sons have one if you need one. They haven't. Yeah. Our boys, Michael and Marcus, have a baby-sized breakaway table for, so that you can indoctrinate them into the
that's
fold.
Hilarious. What a good idea.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, why not? And Mike, what else is happening?
Oh, it's going to be a beautiful night. I was talking about the game. It's going to be so nice tonight. I'll probably be sitting outside. Maybe I'll listen to it on the radio, but little bit of a break in the rain. I haven't had to mow the lawn for a few weeks, but it needs it now.
That's for sure. And I'm so happy to see the rain. And I was worried about the birds and our pollinators because we are big into that this year and it's really fun. But I wanted to say, did you say what you usually say? I don't remember.
I haven't yet, but hey, thanks for listening, folks. Have a great week, a great upcoming Labor Day weekend. Be well and be kind.
It's always good to remember that, folks. And don't forget, next week is Labor Day weekend. And I hope you're inspired today to do something fun and to get out, get the wind in your hair, and enjoy yourself and other people. Because why? Socializing is a healthy, healthy habit. And we'd like to remind you of that as well. And next week, Minot from Touching Hearts at Home. She'll be here. And guess what? She's going to be my co-host. And we're going to have a guest, Carol White-Llewellyn, from the wonderful website Beyond the Nest. And if you're not sure what to do next weekend or anytime in Rochester or the Finger Lakes, that website's awesome. And there's going to be a lot of good things for you to know about. And if you listen next week at 11, and if you're out and about, you can take us with you on the free iHeartRadio app. And that's something you should, I think my friend Ellen's even listening in Scotland. So hello in Scotland. And this Friday after Labor Day is September 5th, the official grand opening of Hanazia's Social Adult Daycare. We're going to be talking more about that, and we'll even be over there. So thank you for joining us today. Go out, get that wind in your hair, tell your friends about the show, and come back next week. Will you please remind everybody while you're out there that seniors rock.